Why not give substance to the awareness so that it might more thoroughly experience itself and was less so? There was a world, and this world swung about the star of the sun so that all of creation could be surveyed from it. And it turned, so that part of the time it could be in the light of the sun, and the other half of the time view the magnificent ball of space. Thus we came into existence. I came first unknown. It was night, and I stood on the beach of a lifeless world. A world without trees or plants, without the chirp of insects or the splash of fish. It was a void world, covered by shapeless rock, sand, and still water, and even the stars appeared to be cold, baleful orbs. I looked about and wondered, aware of my body, and I knew that I differed from the motionless things about me. Thus I exist. I was alive, proposed by all things that exist in all thought, but separated from all things, as a dream is separated from a dreamer. I knew not why or how I came. I knew that I exist, but to exist was not enough. Loneliness came into being. I knew that it was incomplete. And this loneliness grew and became unbearable, and I shrieked at the dark earth about me. I cried to the still sea, and I pleaded to the barren land. I wailed to the unblinking ball above. To exist was not enough. I threw myself to the ground and cried. Wept my heart with every fiber of my body, shook in such pathos that all things were touched. There was a rumbling, the earth shook, and from blinding light she appeared. We came together like two half things and become one when united. Then love was born. Then the world became alive. There were trees and grass, with walking things and crawling things, and those that flew and those that swam. There was a breeze, and the waves lapped over the surface of the sea, and the stars twinkled and gave forth the ethereal music of those who loved from here. We loved, and all the universe loved with us. We loved not only ourselves as one, but all things as one. When the sun rose on our first day, we found our world even more beautiful than the mysterious charm of night. The pink dawn lit tall mountain tops, and birds took flight even higher with the fluffy clouds that lazily drifted overhead, changing their colors through the dawn. I looked at her eyes and found them even more beautiful than the sky. I kissed her soft hair, her wondrous red lips, her soft breast. How wonderful it was then. There was no right or wrong, and there was no such thing as evil. The minds of man that make good and evil had not yet come into being. We were like two children in a magnificent paradise. Had we only realized then that the Creator and the Creator are the one.
All right, I'm Vern Neely. I've known Van since December of 1949, and we're here in Tampa at his house with about 35 or 40 persons perhaps. It's a unique gathering for a most unique man, certainly one of the most unusual men that any of us have ever known. He's been gone now for about a month and a half, and I'm sure he'll live on in our memories for many years to come, perhaps for longer than that. And I believe that the best way to sum up what I get from Van Dercar is that he always managed to give to people a lot more than he took.
Oh, hi, my name is Rippy, and I've known Van for 20 years. I met him in the studio in Miami. I rented from him, and he's a dear friend. And I just have a little song to sing for you. Okay. My father was a keeper of the Eddystone Light, and he danced with a mermaid one fine night. And from this union there came three, a porky and the porpoise, and the other was me. Yo ho ho, the wind blows free. That's it. Out.
I met Van a couple of years after I'd come into Tampa. I moved here in late 1980, and he was literally the very first local personality that I'd heard of when I came into town. But it was sometime later that I had an opportunity to meet him, and was lucky enough to become a good friend. Van was the kind of man who brought out the best in everyone that he met. He had that knack. If it had been an evil streak, he probably could have been a Charles Manson. He had the ability to allow people to discover things about themselves that maybe they were unaware of or were uncomfortable with, and come to terms with them. For many of us who were so much younger than he, I think he filled a need as a grandfather figure, a father figure, and probably the most wonderful friend anyone could have. As a writer, financial security is not one of the strong suits of this business, and there would be times when the phone would ring in the evening and it would be Van on the other end of the line. Hi, Booby, how you doing? Is everything going okay? Are you selling anything? Can I loan you a couple of $100? He cared about everyone who came across his path, and for so many of us, giving back that caring was an almost impossible thing to do. It was hard to, because he gave so much more of himself than we could give to him, and yet in that giving, he helped us find resources in our own selves that we'd been unaware of. I wish that I had known him a whole lot longer than I had. I feel blessed to have known him as long as I did, and I know that he came into my life at a time when I needed the kind of friendship that he had to offer, and I also know that that friendship will stay with me until I'm with Van wherever he is again, and we'll raise a glass of Captain Morgan's rum and Coke and have a good old time later.
My name is Hilde Kilgore. I have been a friend of Louis and Marge van der Kar for many years. We used to meet out here frequently Sunday nights, several friends and I, with Marge and with Louis, and we discussed various questions of the supernatural, of the occult, as you will. And one evening we were playing with the Ouija board. And the group knew only that I planned to go on a trip to Israel. They did not have any dates. They played the Ouija board. I kept my hands off it in order not to influence it in any way. And the Ouija board came out, spelled out that it was dangerous to go to Israel, that there was danger. We limited it down. It was danger on a bus. I indicated that I would not use a bus while in Jerusalem. Any other buses were eliminated. And the Ouija board also spelled out the date, which nobody else had known. And it was indicated that there would be bombs, gunfire on the bus. I went to Israel and arrived on the date as specified, for which I had had my plane tickets already, and was very careful not to use a bus. The next morning, I got me an English-speaking newspaper, and lo and behold, the bus which I was going to take had been rigged by Israeli terrorists.
Hi, my name is Claudia Kramer, and I'm Candy van der Kar's sister. I first met Lou when the roof of his cave for his home had been completed. And at that point, there were no windows, no doors, and this was pretty wild out here. But yet, in the scurrying around in the construction of that house, he was able to take time to show us around, to offer something to eat and something to drink. And he truly was a kind and gentle spirit, and we will all miss him, even though we didn't see him a lot. He is pretty much a part of all of our lives. Thanks, Lou, for giving that to all of us.
Okay, my name is Nancy. I met Van about 4 years ago. He's a very good friend of mine, and I just want to say that we'll miss you, and we'll always remember you, and you'll be very dear to all of us. And we know that you'll always be with us.
My name is Rob Lyday, and at one time I had a normal voice, but I sing opera, and I sing so loud I just knocked everything totally out. But I have known Van der Kar since about 1946, and we've kept in close touch over the years. And about 2 weeks before his death, we were talking about the life we lived and the days we lived in. And we talked about going to work in a wagon with a mule pulling it, and then having come up to the age where men are walking on the moon. And we decided we had both lived probably the best of times. We didn't live any hardships, and we didn't live any classic life like some of the people are going to do. And Lord knows neither one of us wanted to live in outer space. But we had to say we didn't talk of one really directly about death, but it was about the life we had lived and the life we looked forward he left without saying goodbye. But that's the way Van was, you know. We're both artists, and we had much respect for each other. But, well, what the hell can I say for him? I'll let Vern do his little speech now. Incidentally, never mind, I'm not going to say it.
As a matter of fact, we only have time for a little speech now. I'm Vern Neely, and I can just say that I've known Van for more than half of my life and actually more than half of his. And with all sincerity, he's probably the best friend I've ever had, and he affected my life more than any other human being on this earth. And as I think about it in that concept, I'm very close to tears. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Pat Rennert. I stand here and I look up at this gargoyle. That we have one in our front yard similar to it. That me and my sons came out here and helped Lou construct it. I'm kind of lost for words right now, but me and my sons and wife will miss Lou.
My thoughts as I hold part of his remains here is ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Without Van, this party's a bust.
My name's Amy Clanton, and I only met Van once. And I never got up the courage to go up and talk to him. And that was the last Halloween party he ever had. And I'll always regret the fact that I never really got to know him.
Great gathering, right? Always.
So I remember the first day when I came out here, and we talked for a very long time, and he told me that we would know each other for a very long time and we would be very close, and very close we did come. In the business that I'm involved in, it's a concert business, rock concert business. The name of the company at the time was Golf Artist, and now it's Silver Star. And he used to come to many of the concerts and paint. He painted 2 paintings that for a very special 2 groups. One was Supertramp and one was Pat Benatar. And Supertramp took their painting, and Patty didn't take her painting because she passed out on stage twice, and when she saw